Hello and welcome to the new series of Drishti IAS. I am Pooja, and in this segment today we are going to discuss about the political crisis that is unfolding in Maharashtra. Now, any sort of information that is not necessary from the perspective of UPSC examination will be filtered out. We do not need to know the spicy tidbits about the entire unfolding of the scenario. Not a lot of personality dedication will be there. Who is Eknath Shinde? Just a gist of it will be provided, because that is not going to be asked in your examination, of course. So if you're interested, then you can of course look at the Hindi news channels or English news channels. They will give you the spicy tidbits, but here we will dedicate ourselves only and only to the actual information that is necessary for your examination. GS mains paper second and prelims are of course the factual information for prelims, the role of governor with respect to floor test, and the important articles will be discussed along with what is happening in Maharashtra. A gist will be provided so that you have a little bit of background knowledge. And the possible scenarios, this is not very important. This is just to build the momentum of the entire segment. You do not need to know what, you do not need to learn or mug all this, okay? So just pay attention on this and this, all right? And the question, of course. Let's begin with the news. So if we talk about the news, Uddhav Thackeray has left the CM's residence and moved back to Matoshri. A CM leaving his residence, official residence, moving back to some other place shows that there is a huge crisis that is unveiling itself. Eknath Shinde, he gave a big blow to the Uddhav Thackeray government, the Maharashtra-A government, by showing that he has a lot of followers with respect to his rebellion, and that is what is actually is making all these situations to arise. Let us talk about the actual happenings. What is happening? Eknath Shinde, Shiv Sena veteran he has defied the party leaders and party leadership, indicating plans to join hands with the BJP. Now, nothing concrete can be said over here, and you do not need to be concerned with that as well. But one thing that we have to know is Shiv Sena's leader, Eknath Shinde, is one of the staunchest followers of Balasaheb Thackeray. And that makes the entire situation much more serious. Also, the way he has performed in his political career is responsible for the crisis, because he holds a lot of power in Maharashtra along with the CM, of course, because he's a veteran Shiv Sena leader. Shiv Sena's ideological congruence is much more with BJP, but in the background I can just say that back in the couple of previous years, they fell apart over some sort of issues with respect to who will be the next CM. The next CM should be from BJP or Shiv Sena, like that. So that is another thing. But ideologically, they are more congruent to BJP. And this ideological incongruence, you can say, this ideological anomaly that has arisen between the Maharashtra-A government and Shiv Sena, this is the main reason, allegedly the main reason for all this to happen. But you see, MLC elections, Thackeray government did not perform very well. BJP performed extremely well. And this came just after the MLC election. Now, as I told you, Eknath Shinde, he is a veteran leader, staunchest followers of Balasaheb Thackeray. Still, after so many years after his demise, he holds a huge influence in the lives of people of Maharashtra. So, Eknath Shinde also has a huge clout, political clout, when it comes to the politics in Maharashtra. We will not delve into where did he go in Assam or Guwahati, but we just need to know that yes, he has a handful and considerable amount of MLAs with him who are ready to move to another party, who are ready to join another party because of ideological imbalances. Moving on, if we talk about the reason, as I told you, ideological incompatibility, alliance with the Congress as well as Nationalist Congress Party. Why? Because you see that the Uddhav Thackeray government is made up of many parties. Like you see, Shiv Sena has 56 MLAs, had 56 MLAs in support of the Thackeray government. Then comes Nationalist Congress Party, Indian National Congress, then Bahujan Vikas Aghadi, Samajwadi Party. So the magic number for majority is 145. Okay, and if say 40 MLAs, they go away from the party. Majority is lost. And then comes the role of the governor. So right now I'm not going to provide you with any number because it might change. So that is why you just have to know it's more than 30, the MLAs that are with Eknath Shinde. So first of all, there is also one thing that should be ringing in your mind as an aspirant if you have read Lakshmikant, anti-defection. These MLAs are defecting from their party, from the government whom they were providing support to. So anti-defection law comes into the picture. 10th schedule, okay, remember that it's in the 10th schedule, okay. And anti-defection law, it provides for the disqualification of MLAs who, after being elected on the ticket of a political party, voluntarily give up their party membership, okay. So it impacts those MLAs who are not now seeing eye to eye with the party on certain scenarios, especially political scenarios, and then if they move from one party to another, they are defecting, and anti-defection law comes into the picture. It does not apply when? When doesn't it apply? First, if the number of MLAs, very important point, who leave a political party constitute 2/3 of the party's strength in the legislature. So this is a safe number that Eknath Shinde will look at. If he gets the amount of MLAs, the number of MLAs to be 2/3 of the party's strength, he can easily defect, he can easily go away or merge with another party without anti-defection law coming into the picture. These MLAs, they can merge with another party or become a separate group in the legislature itself. So there are two options as well. Now, supposedly I am an MLA and I want to defect. I do not want to continue with my party. I may not have to say in the legislature that I do not see eye to eye with this party now and I want to change my party. Supreme Court has said that the conduct of an MLA can indicate whether they have left the party. Like, right now there is no clarity if Shinde has left the party Shiv Sena, but his Twitter bio does not show Shiv Sena, as in when I read it, that was recently. So Shiv Sena is absent from that. This law is also applicable to independent MLAs because they are prohibited from joining any political party as they are coming on an independent ticket. If they join any political party, the purpose is defeated by itself. So these are certain things that we have to know. Now comes the role of governor, because the Thackeray government is in such a scenario that they have to ensure that they still have the legitimacy to basically be the legitimate government. I wouldn't say rule or reign, but they have to prove their legitimacy, that they still hold the power of the people, and for that flow test is necessary. That is given by the Article 174 Clause 2. The governor to dissolve assembly on the aid and advice of the cabinet. Now, cabinet's advice is necessary, but what happens if there is a CM whose majority is in question, like Uddhav Thackeray's? Then the governor can apply his her mind. Okay, the governor can have a discretion if he or she wants to have the flow test or not. Article 175 Clause 2, the governor can summon the house. She can literally summon the house and call for a flow test to prove whether the government has the numbers. Now, one more thing, in 2020, the Supreme Court in Shivraj Singh Chauhan, others, versus Speaker of the MP Legislative Assembly, they upheld that if the house is in session, then the speaker can also call for a floor test. Okay, so make sure that you know all such, you have these knowledge for the prelims. In a detailed judgment, the court also explained the scope and power of the governor and the law revolving around the floor test, so that there is no, if insufficient knowledge is available with respect to floor test, lots and lots of litigations will be there in the Supreme Court. So what is the floor test? It is a mechanism, a constitutional mechanism, we can say, to know whether the executive enjoys the confidence of the legislature. Simple. As executive, like in the parliament, as in the state assembly, the executive is accountable to the legislature. So that is the aim over here, to see that if executive is having the confidence of the legislature or not. And the chief minister, as he or she is appointed by the governor, they can be asked to prove majority on the floor of the legislative assembly of the state. And in case the majority is questioned, then the leader of the party which claims majority, such as Uddhav Thackeray, has to move a vote of confidence. So to prove that, we need a vote of confidence and prove majority among those present and voting. Okay, these are the keywords: present and voting, and all these things that I have written. The chief minister has to resign if they fail to prove that the majority is not present in the house. Now, what are the possible scenarios that we can see? As I said, do not need to mug up all this, but just I can tell you, a possible regime change can happen if the required amount of MLAs, they join some other party or make another group of themselves. So regime change could be there. The current government could be toppled. Shinde's rebellion may force Sena leadership to split Maharashtra-A government. A very big possibility. Sena leadership may manage to assuage Shinde and other rebels and bring them back into the fold. Okay, it's done, just come back, and all these kind of things can happen. The political clout of Shinde will reduce for sure, because then he will be just known as a rebel in the party, and after that assuaged as well. So I don't think that is going to happen, but in politics anything is possible. Sena may continue as a part of MVA after expelling Shinde for dissident activities. This seems a little uncertain. This seems a little what you can see hypothetical, because he's a veteran leader with huge clout, and they can also, Shiv Sena can also bide their time and just wait for the monsoon session to actually bring the picture that we need to see. So these were the important things that we had to know. Now let us look at the question. This is a mains based question. Define anti-defection laws. What are the criticism of anti-defection law in 250 words? So I will read out the names of those who have answered yesterday's question correctly in the segment for tomorrow. Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Answer this question, practice this question, and we shall meet again. Thank you.